Hey everybody, it's Kyle. Coming to you from my basement. I did record this last night because what this special report is all about is Nosferatu, the new remake film by Robert Eggers. I went and saw it last night, and it's a lot, but it stinks because the way I'd record, I can listen to it, but I can't transfer it over to edit for you guys and to put out a piece. So, kind of a funny thing about it is if you listen to it at the beginning, I'm all excited and and all that stuff. And look, man, I still am. It was an incredible film. And Robert Eggers is truly unleashed and unhinged in this one. He really makes his own version of this story, and it's gorgeous, and it's horrifying, and it's well acted. It's just absolutely stunning, but at the same time, holy shit, man. I don't think most people are ready. I mean, I knew it was going to be something different because of what I had seen from early, reviews, as much as they could say about it. And also in some of the interviews I've seen with the cast, while they're doing press junkets for this stuff, there are a few little things let out that, when you see it and you see him in this film, you're like, whoa. And, I tend to get maybe a little overblown on things like this and all that. And, maybe to some teenage kids who like horror films and stuff, this won't mean all that much. It won't be that big of a deal. But I can tell you it is. And Robert Eggers somehow captures all the beauty and the disgust of that point in time. And we're talking about, quite a while ago in Germany. It's something else, man. And the acting is absolutely incredible. I will say, Lily Rose Depp, I believe that's Johnny Depp's daughter, is absolutely amazing in this film. Nicholas Hoult is outstanding. Willem Dafoe is fantastic. And then there's Bill Skarsgård. Now, Bill has played two of the biggest baddies in the history of horror. He's played Pennywise in the It films a few years ago, which he did an amazing job of. And then he now has played Count Orlok in Nosferatu. He is beyond what most people can comprehend as acting. He's next level and then some. And it's a pleasure to watch him because he's so amazing and mesmerizing. At the same time, it's rough. It's really rough. He's a sinister, evil, disgusting creature. And he just really does an amazing job, it seems like, of whatever is handed to him. Now, I haven't seen The Crow, and I haven't seen, I don't remember, he had another film that was out this year, Boy Kills World, or something, I can't remember. I haven't seen those. And I haven't seen him in a whole lot of other things, but talking about since It. Oh, I guess he was in another horror film. I can't remember what it was called, where he was in a bed, or not a bed and breakfast, but a Verbo house, and this other woman shows up to stay in the Verbo house, and supposedly they both got double booked. It looks pretty rough, but Yeah, I can tell you that this is beyond what I imagined, and in a good way, and also in a terrifying way. I wasn't fully prepared to see horror to that extent, as far as visually and as far as comprehending it psychologically. It's rough. Um, One of the things I talk about in this recording I made that you'll never hear um, is that there are moments within the film that were striking to me. And coming up on a year anniversary since I had this stuff with my mom, and ultimately, before she passed away, there's a scene in the film, and it definitely hit me when I saw it, and it scratched that spot that is familiar and yet terrible. And it's a scene when I say they, I'm talking about Nicholas Hoult and Willem Dafoe, and there's another gentleman who's a doctor in this town, and they're trying to go into this one area where they believe the Count is, and they open the door, and the place is just full of rats all over the ground. Like, you can't take one step, piles of them here and there. You can't take a step without a rat there. And that part definitely freaked me out a little bit, because of the mouse situation that took place about a year ago. Actually, a year ago today is the first time I had experienced it. But I would imagine there's a lot of things within this film that are going to strike people like that. And I think that's what's so effective about it, is even though this is set in this long time ago situation, and there are these supernatural elements and things like that, there are so many things within it that are very, very familiar and very, very understandable by people these days. And I think that's probably what is so shocking about the film. Even to the point of Count Orlok and Bill Skarsgård's performance. It's not what you're expecting, people. It's not. I know that before I saw the film, the only thing, I hadn't really seen any imagery of him, and they've been really good about keeping that under wraps. But there was something that released last week, I believe, towards the end of the week, that had his voice, the voice that he does for this character. And it was rough. I mean, when I heard it, I was like, whoa, okay, this is not really what I was thinking. And yeah, it wasn't. And when you see the film and you experience the Count and see the Count, really see him, you'll understand what I mean. It's not what you're thinking. And it is different from that Max Schreck portrayal, or Klaus Kinski portrayed Count Orlok as well. Doug Jones also there's another version of Nosferatu that was made. Let me see if I can find some information about that. But yeah, it's Doug Jones stars in a unique horror remake. It's called Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror. And I believe that's what the one that was with Klaus Kinski is made too. Or is called also. Okay, so yeah, Nosferatu, a symphony of horror. Pardon that there. Um, yeah, I'm interested in seeing that now. Definitely. It would be really hard for it to stand up against this film, I would imagine. But I don't want to completely discount it. I just think that it's going to be a tough one to try and, as far as Nosferatu films, it's going to be pretty tough to outdo this one or the original. The original had its own elements and its own ideas and imagery that are terrifying. This, beyond a doubt, is terrifying for this day and age. And what I think happens with a lot of remakes is that doesn't happen. They're so reliant on the imagery and everything from the past film that they fail to find that incredible combination of what was so rough about this back in 1922 when people saw it for the first time, this story, and what needs to be terrifying about it in 2024. And he does that, man. He gives you elements of the old version, and you identify those if you've ever seen the film from 1922. You identify that and you see that, and at the same time, you also understand the difference and how terrifying it is. So yeah, that's what is going on. That's what I went and saw, and man, I really can't express to you, if you are a real horror film and you like that psychological terror and horror, and you're okay with seeing things that are grotesque in a lot of different manners. I mean, grotesque, violently, there is some gore, sexually, there's some grotesqueness. If you're okay with that, then you're fine with this movie. If you love horror films, you'll love this film. I did. I've talked to Mikey about it, and he's wanting to see it. But I can tell you that if you're not okay with those things, and if you're bothered by those things, or if you will have nightmares because of things like that, you don't want to go see this film, probably. I mean, I think that once it comes out on home video, I would, of course, recommend a 4K Blu-ray of it. But once that comes out and you can kind of stop it and get up and do something and come back to it, you might be okay if you're not a big horror freak. But yeah, if not, man, I would probably not recommend it for everybody. I know I had 2 tickets to see it. I didn't know if Mikey was going to be around, if he could go see it with me. Because he and I went and saw another Robert Eggers film together at the same exact movie theater. We went and saw The Lighthouse, and we loved it. And before we went in, we actually both had a Kraken rum double. Anyway, last night, in honor of us going to see that other Robert Eggers film, The Lighthouse, I went ahead and went to the bar since I had a little extra time, and I was bummed out because I couldn't get Count Orlok's coffin popcorn tin that they were selling, which is silly. I don't need to get into collecting anything else, but here I am. I had a little extra time, and my seat's saved, so I went to the bar there and got a double Kraken. And I'm glad I did, because it definitely settled my nerves a little bit for what was going to be a pretty wild ride, and went by pretty fast for a little bit over 2 hours. Definitely glad that happened. Anyway, yeah. So I did that, and it definitely chilled me out before I went in and watched the film. uh, Another interesting thing that happened, there was someone that was there, sitting in a seat next to me, and she and I talked about it a little bit. She was very excited to see it. She said she had asked her mother to go with her to the film, and her mother turned her down. And I said, well, hey, I had an extra ticket and was going to take my wife, but she did not want to come see this. And so we were kind of laughing a little bit about that. And then we were just talking about the original film, the remake in 1979 with Werner Herzog and Klaus Kinski. And then, this new Doug Jones version. She didn't know anything about that. So I told her about that. And it looks like you can actually purchase that, or at least rent it digitally. So I'm going to have to check that out. Nosferatu, Symphony of Horror. But, if you're in for something different and you're in for something shocking and you like that sort of thing and you're like, I can watch this, I can handle it. Then, this might be good for you. It's a rough one, though. It's not for everybody, and we'll see how it does. I don't think it's going to make a ton of money. I don't know if a Robert Eggers film is ever going to make a ton of money, but it definitely is a harrowing experience, and it's not for everyone. Again, I repeat that. Don't go trying to take Grandma to go see this movie, people. It's got things in it Grandma doesn't want to see. I learned that lesson myself a long time ago watching The Summer of Sam by Spike Lee. Grandma was not too excited to have gone to see that film. Well, this is far, far, far worse as far as the content goes that is specifically not made for grandmas. All right, guys, that's all I got to say. That's my experience on it. I won't see you guys next week, but I'll have something the week after that. Thanks for listening, and get off my lawn.